Welcome to our mini project presentation. I'm William Foreman, joined by Thomas and Jaden. For our report, we investigated an outdoor air conditioning unit. An outdoor air conditioning unit consists of these components: grill plate, condensing unit, accumulator, fan, and support frame. The overall function of an outdoor air conditioning unit is that it will condense a liquid or a gas that has come from the inside and will condense it, and then it will remove all the excess heat that's generated from this process, thus removing the heat from the overall system.
These are the approximate dimensions of a residential unit. As we can see down the bottom, we got 13, 15, and 17 kilowatt. And even though some are higher power, they're all roughly the same dimensions. And with the materials, the most common materials we got is copper, aluminum, steel, sheet metal, plastic, and powder coating. And all these materials are chosen for a variety of reasons. With the dimensional tolerances and surface integrity, this is pretty crucial. So the first and obvious one is thermosetting powder coat, which plays a role in the surface integrity of the unit, so it cannot erode due to weathering. There should be minimal tolerance with the grill, as one change can change the whole airflow of the whole outdoor unit. The tolerances of the fan have to be tight to optimize the efficiency, otherwise it won't be able to put heat out of the system quick enough, which can overheat the system. The accumulator must be strict, otherwise there could be too much pressure that could build up within the copper tubing, and which could lead to failure of the compressor. And then the tolerances for the tubes must be tight, especially with the diameter for the pressure and the seals at each end of the tube, so there's no leakage within the outdoor unit.
So with the coils and tubing, the main consideration for the condensing coil when choosing the material is thermal conductivity, thermal stability, and the cost. The thermal conductivity is the main driver of performance, as this is the way with the heat, where the heat is removed from the air conditioning system, making primary considerations for material selection. Furthermore, the temperature of the high pressure gas or liquid will go through large change through the condensing coil. This requires the material to have a good thermal stability to be able to withstand changes in temperature without compromising the mechanical or thermal properties. For the support frames, the support frame includes both the internal support frames for the internal components, as well as the external frames securing the air conditioning unit in place. The internal support frames will function in keeping particular parts away from each other so that they don't fail, as well as and maintain support to parts like the fan so they can operate correctly. With the internal frames, while the internal frames are important, they ensure performance are unlikely to undergo a large amount of mechanical stress at any point. However, the internal frames for the condensing coil and the compressor are likely to undergo large thermal fluctuations and possibly be exposed to moisture from the condensation. The external support frame is exposed to elements and thus will need moderate mechanical strength and chemical and corrosion resistance for a coating, achieving the same purpose. Tolerances of the external frames do not need to be tight besides the attachment hole locations. For the fans, depending on the size of the unit, play an integral role in maintaining the safe temperature inside the outdoor unit. It circulates the hot air out of the unit so that other parts do not overheat or fail. It cools the air from the indoor unit and dissipates it into condensing coil. To reuse the air back into the indoor unit, the tolerances of the fan might be tied to optimize the efficiency of heat removal and the overall system, while this is directly linked to the overall performance.
The impact on the environment is pretty limited. This is due to the materials used. So we've got copper, aluminum, steel, coated sheet metal, and plastic. And most of the materials are 100% recyclable, which will reduce the waste ultimately. The main environmental impact of the outdoor unit is from the use of AI in the manufacturing processes, which obviously uses more energy, creates greenhouse gas emissions, and ultimately environmental degradation. And that's the outdoor unit from me, Will and Thomas. Peace.